Good morning. I'll be talking about non-performing assets, the factors that are contributing to non-performing assets and the impact of non-performing assets on the banking system as a whole. So we all know that the functions of commercial banks are primary and secondary. Coming to primary functions, that is accepting of deposits and lending of funds. And secondary functions are agency functions and general utility services. Among the primary functions, we have lending of funds. Banks lend in the form of loans, overdraft, cash credit and discounting of bills. Now we all know that loan is an asset. It is an asset because it brings revenue to the banking system. It brings, when a loan is given, people take loan and pay interest on the loan that they have taken. So the interest amount adds to the profits of the banking concern. So when it does not come, now the bank, to be called as a bank, the inflow and outflow of the funds have to be happening simultaneously. So if that doesn't happen, if the funds go out of the bank and if it does not come back to the banking system, then it will be called as non-performing. So the principal, the amount that goes out of the system in the form of loan and then the loan or advance, and if it does not come back to the banking system, it becomes non-performing. So that is called as a non-performing asset. Now what is NPA? How is it defined as? It is any loan or advance for which principal or interest payment remain overdue for a period of 90 days. For a period of 90 days, if it is overdue, then we call it as NPA, that is non-performing asset. Now let us look into the factors that are contributing to NPAs. There are two important factors, internal factors and external factors. Now let us look into some of the internal factors and some of the external factors which are contributing to NPAs. Coming to internal factors, diversion of funds for assisting associate concerns. See, in a particular organization, if they have subsidiaries in those organizations, few may be doing well and few may not be doing well. When the flow of funds happen to those areas where the concern is not doing well, then they will not be able to make profits and they will not be able to repay to the banking system. Time or cost overrun during project implementation stage. If the project implementation does not happen properly, if the time constraint is not properly viewed, then there is going to be difficult for giving back the amount that they have borrowed from the banks. Then business failures, product failures or marketing failures. Sometimes the product is not accepted. Proper demand forecasting is not made, or proper competition has not been ascertained before introducing a product. In that case, there will be a product failure. Either a product failure, or if the marketing is not very effective, then also there can be a marketing failure, and the business failure in general could make a firm not able to pay the amount that they have already taken as a loan from the banks. Then coming to inefficiency in management. Management entrepreneur is a very important factor in a production. If there is inefficiency, if he is not very focused, if he is not properly organized, then that may lead to failure, which may make a particular concern not able to repay the amount that they have borrowed. Let us look into the external factors. Actually, external factors is out of the control of a business unit. Recession in the economy. If the economy is facing recession, the prices are falling. If the prices are falling, then profits also will fall. Then what happens? Entrepreneurs are reluctant to take up the enterprise. So with the fall in investment, there is fall in production, fall in employment, fall in income, fall in demand, and recession makes the borrower not be able to pay the amount that he has borrowed. Coming to shortage of inputs or price escalation of inputs, for some reason the input shortage occurs. Maybe there is sudden demand for the inputs that is being taken, or it could be because the prices of inputs are being increased. So because of this, they will not be able to repay. Then accidents and natural calamities. So accident and natural calamities is not, there is so much of uncertainty, you cannot foresee that. For example, today we are having the outbreak of coronavirus, which is making most of the production, production is coming down. Then there is a situation where the production is not happening in terms of goods as well as in services. So this may not allow them to produce the service or a product effectively as they have planned. Then change in the government policies. the government policies could be changed. If you take small scale sector, so many products which were included in small scale sector were excluded after some time, because the government withdrew its protection for some of the industries. In that case, they are withdrawn and they are helpless and they won't be able to manage finance effectively. So you all are aware of the primary and secondary functions of commercial banks. So primary functions, we have accepting of deposits and lending of funds. In secondary functions, we have agency functions and general utility services. See, apart from internal and external factors, we also have the other factors which are contributing to NPAs. Poor monitoring of credits and failure to recognize early warning signals. If they are not able to return, if they have a history of the checks getting bounced, or if the banker gets a slight doubt that this person is not managing his affairs properly, then something could be done to reduce NPAs. So then the promoter's over-optimism. So if the promoter is over-optimistic about his capabilities, about the demand, about the market, then also the failures will occur. Then liberalization has brought in lot of competition. So the liberalization of the economy has exposed the industries which are to the MNCs, which are very effective, which are well managed and all that. And since they are large producers, it is very difficult for the small producers to compete with them. So they have an edge of producing the products at a lesser cost, and thereby they will be able to reduce the price, and customers are benefited in that particular area. So there is a lot of competition among the products which are manufactured by small producers and large producers. Large producers have an edge over these, and because of which small producers or medium scale producers, if they borrow, they will not be able to repay the amount that they have borrowed. So apart from internal and external factors, we have also got the other factors again at a bigger number, which is also contributing to NPAs. Now, what is the impact of NPAs? What is going to happen if the NPAs increase with the banks? No recycling of funds. To be called as a bank, the inflow and outflow has to be happening simultaneously, I told. So if the funds which go out of the bank do not come back to the banking system, then banks will not be able to lend it. The credit creation can happen only if the banks have sufficient funds with them. So without credit creation, the multiple expansion of credit cannot happen, and you cannot stimulate the investment in the economy, which at the larger scale contributes to economic growth, economic development and all that. So recycling of funds will not be there, because the money goes out of the banking system, it does not come back to the banking system. Then profitability is at stake. Banks have to make profits. They have to make profits for their existence. They have to make profits because there is a lot of administration expenses that happen for the banks, for which they require money. And they have to pay interest to the depositors. Interest to the depositors have to be paid, and that is an obligation of the banker, and the banks have to generate the money has to come back to the system. Then salaries to staff who work for the bank also has to be considered, and thereby profits becomes very much essential. Apart from all these things, lot of money has to be spent on advertisement to attract customers, to ensure that they have larger deposits as compared to other banks. Now, after autonomy is given to the banking system, after the Narasimhan Committee came into existence after liberalization, we can see that the banks are being shouldered with their responsibility of collecting the deposits, of increasing the deposits. So they have to make personal efforts to advertise about their banks, to attract deposits, so that they'll be in a more comfortable position as compared to other banks. Then asset or credit contraction. What happens is, if they have less money with them, they will not be able to create more credit. When they are not able to create more credit, the multiple expansion of credit will not happen. So a lot of money, that is, it's the banks who are responsible to a very great extent creating or stimulating investment in the economy. A growing economy like India requires lot of investment to come forth, so that the investment will contribute to the employment opportunities. When people are employed, their incomes will increase. When the incomes will increase, the demand for goods and services will increase. When the demand for goods and services will increase, there will be many people who will take up entrepreneurial activity, and further the investment goes up, and it will create a positive impact on the economic growth and also economic development. When people are employed, when people are getting incomes, they look at a bigger picture, and there can be economic development. Now, economic growth is gradual. Economic development can happen all of a sudden. Like it doesn't require much time, and very intelligent, a smart businessman, a smart salesman can bring about economic development. So if this has to happen, there should be large funds, outflow of funds from the banking system. So that get obstructed because there is no inflow. Whatever money goes out is not coming back to the system. Then shareholders' confidence. The people who have contributed, that shareholders, they lose confidence in the banking system. So they lose confidence because they are afraid that they may lose their money. And the last one, and a very important one, is public confidence. The entire banking business is running on public confidence. If public confidence is shaken, there will be a run on the bank. See, any check that is presented at the counter has to be honored. And if the bank says we don't have sufficient funds to honor the check of the customer, that means that customer who goes out of the bank will spread this information outside, and every depositor would like to take back his or her money, because now they feel insecure keeping their money with this particular bank. So in banking business, public confidence is very, very important. Public confidence is important because if public lose confidence, then they will not keep the money with the bank. They will start withdrawing the money. So public, if they come to know that a particular bank, in a particular bank, the NPAs are very high, then that is a matter which is going to affect their deposits in future.